I personally feel like one of the craziest things about life is the fact that once everything is going good and we get a little bit of momentum, we often let this feeling of success, it may be happiness that we're experiencing as well, but we often let this feeling get to our head to the point where we feel as if we can't be back low. We feel as if once things start finally going our way, once we may get the life that we desire, once things may actually be aligned according to our plan and what we believe that we've always been destined for, that we can't get back to the bottom, or we can't go through something that puts us back in that low state of mind that makes us feel vulnerable. And I'm here to let you know today that that's just not the case. And it really doesn't matter what form of success that you may encounter during your life. You have to be able to mentally persist through any form of ail that you may go through at this very moment. And this was one of my biggest problems growing up, because I used to always believe that once I overcame it mentally or even physically, once I overcame whatever challenge that I was going through, whether I was struggling just in general or I was just dealing with something in life, that it may no longer be present and I'll never have to go through that thing again once I get through that one battle or that one obstacle. And for example, I remember I was going through relationship problems roughly 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I first came home from the military, and I had healed from a lot of my past traumas. I have felt like I was able to let people go and always choose to put myself first. But as time went on, I started to mold back into this version of myself that I thought I overcame previously, a version of myself that I didn't believe existed anymore. And that just goes to show that, we may get a little momentum and things may be going our way. And this oftentimes puts us in a headspace to feel as if we're bigger than whatever it is that may be going on. But you are still susceptible to any form of, vulnerable moments that could possibly come up in your life. And that's something that I feel like is very important for you to take in and understand, that just because things may not be present at this moment doesn't mean that they are not capable of happening again in the future. So you should always just train yourself to really just consider that and take that into account when you're going through your day-to-day, when you're building, when you're expanding mentally, that you're never going to be bigger than anything. Never allow yourself to be so big-headed to the point where you just feel like you can't go through something again. Because no matter who you are going to face another L. No matter what challenges you think you may have overcame, no matter what desires that you feel like you may have beat, there is going to be a time where something or someone tests you, and it puts you right back in that same headspace that you were previously. And you're going to sit and think back to yourself like, man, I thought I was bigger than this. I thought I overcame it. But it's not necessarily about being bigger than the things that you've overcame previously in the past. It's about being able to persist through those moments where or through those things that has such a huge impact on your life overall. Really just learning how to accept the fact that we're human. As simple as it may sound, I feel like it's something that's very important to take in, because the way that people work these days, I feel like they can often put themselves in a position to kind of be robots, to always try to be hard on themselves, to always hold themselves to these higher standards and expectations. But like I said before, you're going to slip up one day, and it's not even about that slip up. It's more so about understanding that you're human and you're going to make mistakes. Even when things may be going in your favor, or things may be how you may want them to be in your life, you're going to fall short again. You're going to have time where you feel low. You may have a time where you struggle, and you may have felt like you beat all of those struggling moments in your life. And one thing that's really helped me be more open-minded to this idea of just always just being able to accept the L, and being able to overcome any challenge that you may face, is the fact that every loss is either a lesson or a blessing for somebody. So if I go through something at this very moment right now, and I get the negative end of the stick, more than likely somebody is probably going to get the positive end of the stick. It's always just going to put you in a different headspace. It's always going to make you be more open-minded to the hardships that you may face, learning how to embrace them, because they represent you and they stand for something greater than that controversial moment, and being accepting to that. And I feel like there's so many people out here that's simply not okay with losing, and I feel like it's just so egotistical, just not being able to look at yourself in the mirror and accept things for what they are. Being able to accept losses, being able to accept defeat at some point, especially if there's nothing that you can do to change it. Like I said, we're human beings, we're going to experience this regardless, but not putting yourself in a position to be okay with the downsides of life will damage your character. It'll keep you in a very low state of mind because nobody likes to lose. We already know that, but that form of defeat that you may face can really eat you up if you allow it to. It can make you feel like you're not worthy. It can make you feel like that you're not good enough to be doing the things that you may be doing. And it could just make you insecure about your overall potential. So really just taking that into account, man, and just learning how to accept them losses and being able to bounce back and being able to be more resilient. Things are not always going to go your way. You may have done everything in your power to get a certain result, but sometimes we cannot go against God's plan. We have our logic and our theory and things that we may want, but in all reality, they don't always align with what He has in store for us. So if you just understand that, and you allow things to be what they are, it'll be way more tasteful and easier for you to be able to overcome these challenges that you may face. But you can't shy away from any hard time or any loss that you may experience. It's just the very fact that it has to happen. It has to happen. We can't avoid it. We can't do anything to, let's just say, change the outcome. We can do things to change our perception on that outcome, but if it's happening, then it's happening. And that's the only thing that we should be focusing on at this very moment, is how to accept this form of loss, how to accept this L and being able to persist through it. But there's so many different ways that you can deal with hard times, whether you're struggling, whether you're dealing with relationship problems, whether you have family problems. And one of the things that I like to turn to, man, is I just like to get active. I really do like to, you have to release stress no matter what. And I like to get active. I like to do things like run. I like to do things like walk, put myself in a headspace to actually sweat, because the benefits of stress, you're just being able to, release all that forms of negativity and the things that you may feel. So, you know, if you're in a position like that, and it's kind of hard for you to accept the loss or to accept anything that could be happening in your life right now, man, just understand that it's not going to last forever. You're going to have your ups and downs like everybody else, but you have to keep going. You're still here for a reason. You're still waking up and you still have a purpose to serve. So just keep that in mind at moments where you feel like giving up, at moments where you feel like you may not necessarily know what direction to go in. The only direction for you to go in at this very moment is forward. Don't look back. Don't focus on, things that may have been holding you back up until this point. Really set your eyes and lock in on the future and what's to come. But, this may be the time for you to pick up a new hobby or to keep yourself busy. And this is something that's always kept me, or that I was always conscious about. And it's so real, man. But when you're going through these hardships or when you're going through these downsides of life, you have to stay busy. The busier you are, the better, because what happens is when you're alone, you don't have much to do or much on your plate. This is what puts your mind in a position to actually think and ponder. Your mind's going to be all over the place, thinking about all the negative stuff that happened, thinking about how life may not be what you want it to be. But if you keep yourself busy, then you do not have time to sit and ponder on the negative things. You have things that you may need to take care of. You have things that you're working on, and it's going to be much easier for you to deal with that form of loss that you may be experiencing. So that's something that has always helped me. Just really stand busy. If you don't have much to do, take naps. If you need to make something to do, if you don't have nothing to do, first of all, but even if you take care of everything, man, get you some good rest. Wake up early, start your day, and really focus on being productive, because this is just going to make it much easier for you to get through the things that you may be going through. But I just understand that moments like this comes with life. What would life be without the challenges that we face, or without the hardships? I can't really tell you how it would feel if I was just put in a position of success and I didn't really have to go through anything. Like, that doesn't even make sense. It's like, imagine cooking, or just imagine the feeling that you get when you order in like DoorDash and you have food that's already prepped and prepared for you, versus when you take your actual time to make the food and to complete all the steps necessary in order to get that reward, you feel way better about yourself because you actually did, the prerequisites, or took the steps that were necessary in order to get the job done, if that makes sense. So really just take that same concept into account, man, and just understanding that, it's okay to go through your struggles. It's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to be able to accept these form of losses, but you have to accept it. Nobody is going to do it for you. You can't hold anything against anybody. Only thing you can do is look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that I have to focus on my future life because I am here now and this is all I have. So I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to sit and ponder on the what if or how things should have went. Right now, I just got to do everything in my power to make the most out of my life. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.